Do you ever have one of those days? Today is one of those days. So we get in, and they're telling us all about this storm that's coming. And you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, we'll see how that affects us when we're on site. In the meantime, this truck, which has had intermittent problems, has decided, as I'm driving along, to get slower and slower and slower. I'm like, shit. Now, I don't really want to say anything to the boss because, well, I call him dripping with autism. All right, that give you some idea. So, anyway, turn the engine off, turn it back on, fine. Cracked on with what I'm doing because I've got a load on the back. It's got to get tipped. Gets onto the M4. Slower, slower, slower. Hard shoulder. We're at the hard shoulder doing 4 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour. Right, I pulled over, stopped completely. Rings the boss. What do I do here? Well, you've got to get it tipped. I'm doing 4 miles an hour on the motorway, and I'm 20 miles away from where I've got to be. Oh yeah, you got to get it tipped, and you got to get off the motorway. Costs more money to tow you off the motorway, doesn't it? So I'm like, right, thanks for your assistance in this matter. Then he says, if you can get it tipped, I'll come out to you with another truck. Fine. Okay. All I actually want to do is go home, hang the keys up and go on the agency again, but never mind. And then I get a call. Yeah, we've blown a tyre. This is one of the Romanian lads that doesn't speak English very well, so it's come through another one. Blown a fucking tyre. Well, that obviously is going to come before me, right? We're moving again, by the way, you might have noticed. So I've now had to relay that on to the autism, who's absolutely dripping with it now. And he's not best pleased. So now he's got to come out and repair that, and I have somehow, although it's moving at the moment, but for how long, got to get this to site, get it tipped, and then crawl, because I'm not allowed back on the motorway, because it costs more money to drag you off the motorway, crawl through the centre of Bristol, all the way back to Weston-super-Mare to change trucks. And this is flatter than a witch's tit. I'm going to get overtaken by the change of season. And every fibre of my fabric wants to say, ah, fuck it! As it said in the Bible, page 4, verse 9, chapter 3. Fuck off. It didn't actually. But it's just one of those days. These days are sent to try us. But it could be worse. Much worse. I could live in a third world country and be worried about my goat, whether it's going to get ill, whether I've got my crops coming in, whether I'm going to get fed, whether the kids are going to make it past a certain age. I could be on my deathbed dying of cancer. All of these things are far, far more worse and problematic, obviously, than my first world problem, really. And this is what we have to do on days like this. We have to put it into perspective that this is fuck all. I'm feeling better already. Part of the reason why I do this, I vent to the camera, to yourselves, and in so doing, it's like taking your head for a shit. So thank you for listening. But yeah, it's one of those days. We all get one of those days, but you have to step back and look at it for what it is. It's nothing. Although, it's fucking frustrating. And it's one of those things that, with modern vehicles and all the technology on them, you can have it for a second and then go back to being normal, so you can't track the fog. I've got it on my Mitsubishi L200. Sometimes it sounds really like it's got injector knock, and sometimes it doesn't, and under power it sounds fine. And it's when you back off it sounds rattly, and you're like, but there's no fault codes, so you can't track down what the fucking problem is. And with these modern vehicles, as I say, they'll have a load of fault codes, you'll clear them, the vehicle will go off fine, and then it'll fuck up again, and you're none the wiser. So here we are. Anyway, this is, I suppose, going to have to go out the Man Up channel, because this is one of those things where you just got to man up about shit and just get on with it. But it is annoying. Anyway, hope you're having a better day. Apparently, there's 110 mile an hour winds or something on the south coast. You can't even see a leaf blow around here. So when they're talking about this on the radio, I'm wondering about, do you remember that clip where it's got that American news reporter going, oh, it's fucking terrible and all the rest of it, and you just see two people just walking by around the back of him normally? It's like, you're full of shit, you're making it up, what a wanker. But it does make me wonder, is the west coast, sorry, south coast, being absolutely lashed and we're being spec, because they're banging on about it and I can't see shit. Anyway, 2.8 miles to go till I get at least tipped, and then this thing will crawl on a bit better than it was. Hope you're having a good day, as I say, and I'll see you in a bit.